while stars for culinary creativity are more appropriate now on BBC One, displayed by Hudson and Halls.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone here, everyone at home. Lovely to see you again. Can you hear? All right, you can cut it now.
Thank you very much.
What are we going to do?
We're going to do an awful programme for you.
We always do.
Oh, FFAL, that is. We're going to do liver and pine nuts.
Yes.
We're going to do kidneys and...
Gin.
Correct. And my favourite dish in all the world, tripe.
And we've got someone who's going to entertain you this time with her partner, the lovely Sandra Dickinson. You notice the way I gracefully take off my coat? I don't damage it because it isn't paid for yet.
My apron was put in the sink.
Right, we'll start off with the tripe first of all, because that's got to cook for an hour. So there's one already in the oven cooking. But all you need for that is 3 to 4 onions, just sliced quite thinly, and then sauté them in oil. Now, this is virgin oil, and you need a good olive oil for this particular dish because it really is sort of French in flavour. And also when they go to a nice and soft and just taken on a slightly colour of gold, also they're ready. Then we just did here some shallots, which all we did was peel them. The recipe says 4, but we've used a few more because they're only small and we like the flavour. You just put those in some cold water, bring them to the boil and boil them for 10 minutes and drain them. And they're the 2 essentials to give this flavour to the dish. But the real essential, of course, is the tripe.
Now, Hello, you're over there. You're supposed to be there in front of me. I've been doing some tripe. I used 1.5 pounds of tripe, and I've totally forgotten because I'm heads at the wrong angle. Already pre-cooked tripe, which I cut into strips, and I'm cooking it in olive oil over high heat so that it's a nice golden brown. And I won't show you this lot. Don't you look into this pan, because it's all gone stringy. But I've got some in this casserole already, and I'll tip it in like that, you see. And then David's going to make some of the other ingredients for me to go with this. But isn't that... How great. Oh, and you gave me the hot end of the saucepan as well. Now, I'll just get that out of the way for the moment, because I've got to try and... I've got to get over here.
Come on,
now, David's done the onions. Did you explain the onions and the shallots?
What do you think I did here to this camera? I did it all beautifully.
Well, I'm putting those in here. So
Didn't I?
This is tripe. Oh, stop asking for popularity. They only do it because they paid such big money to get in. So we've done the onions here and the shallots, and now I'm going to add into that some brandy to flame it because it has a... Someone's drunk the brandy. We buy miniatures so that it doesn't cost you a lot, but you see, I never come unprepared. Just in case I fainted on the set, you see. Well, you don't know, there might be a doctor in the house.
This is for real, too, I'll tell you that.
So a little bit of brandy goes in here, about 2 tablespoons, or one of those small bottles, and then you... Oh, I mustn't lose that. It'll spill and waste all my best cognac. Actually, I'm using cognac, too, would you mind? And using a long match... Just ignite that. Now, you can see, please be very careful. I'm not being silly using one of these. If you get burned by alcohol... If you get burnt by alcohol, it is a very, very bad burn. And that, of course, burning it off like that is taking off the excess alcohol. So just be, please, very careful. Tip these on top of the tripe.
That'll be all...
Yes. I don't know what he's doing over there, but I wish he
wasn't. I'm trying to fry me liver, but...
I wish you could. I'll just pop that pot back on there, do that over there, and I'll move to here. Now, into this also goes about... Oh, hello. 2 tablespoons of tomato concentrate or paste. Looks ugly, doesn't it? Now, this is quite, as David said, a Provençal, this is. Lovely accent, that. I went to a very good school. About a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder or cayenne, a teaspoon of thyme, about that, dried thyme, that is, a tin of Italian plum tomatoes which have been peeled, but also these come in their juice, because that's very essential to the sauce to finish. About 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley, a 1/4 cup of white wine, and as we say, always cook with the wine always cook with the... Is he doing? Always cook with the wine that you drink because you get a better flavour. Just mix this all together, and then finally, about 16 to 20 pitted black olives. That means the stones taken out. This goes over the top of this, like that. Now, this is a lovely dish, and I was thinking the other day, I haven't tried, I must be truthful, but I thought this could be quite nice done with squid. Now, this would go in a preheated oven, 175 degrees centigrade.
You know what squid is, don't you? They're the ones with the funny tentacles.
Like you. I am speaking at the moment, if you do not mind. 175 degrees Celsius for at least an hour so that it's properly cooked. Now, I know here in the audience somewhere, look at them all, and you're all Manchester-curians, or whatever, how you pronounce it, would love this to eat and take home, because I'm not going to throw it away because it's expensive.
Anybody like to try it?
Right.
More than one.
So, let's have a look. Who's the prettiest person here of all? And I know, I can see one of the most beautiful women, and I think you're a tripe eater. Madam, yours. And you can keep the box. And if you just forgot, 175 degrees Celsius for at least an hour to cook that.
What about the one
but
you've
not
got
in the
there?
box.
What about the one you've got in there?
Oh, I haven't. I've got a lot to do here. And of course, I'm terribly sorry at home with my back to the camera. I forgot to show the one I'm cooking. Look at that. Gorgeous. I wish you could smell it. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, go on, get with.
It's all right, just get on with what you're doing. Yes, I am hot. Oh, thank you for that. I'll turn the fan up.
Right, so that's the tripe dish, which, as I say, is quite simple. And the way Peter explains it, I'm sure you've understood every word. Is that right?
That lady did.
Recipes will be on the way up when you go out later. Now, what we're going to do for the next dish is some liver. It's liver and onions and raisins, and it really is very, very delicious. The onions are a bit special in this, but when you're cooking liver, don't overcook it. Leave it to stay a little bit pink and cut it fairly thinly. I'll just put that in there. Do it in batches. Now, this is the last bit here. And as you can see, I've cut it in thin strips. Now, if you have difficulty in cutting liver, I suggest you put it in the freezer for a little while until it starts to solidify a little bit, and that makes it easier to cut. But do cut it in thin strips. Just a hint of flour goes on there, a little bit of salt and pepper if you wish, although you can always add that later, and then it goes into the pan, and just cook that until it's done. Now, that's all I have to do with this. So while I'm cooking this, what have you got, Peter?
Now,
You've got some of the other goodies.
We're glazing some onions to go with David's dish here. And we used small pickling onions here, peeled. We've used about 16. We're only giving you approximate... You look up there, madam. You can see it through the screen. What we did here, we put a quarter of... about 4 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, and then just covered the onions, and then cook them uncovered until all the liquid has evaporated, and you come out with this lovely, syrupy, caramelized bunch of onions. And these are essential to David's dish at the finish. But they're very simple. But just watch when the liquid has all gone, because that's when they will catch. But you've just got to get that soft golden brown to them. Also, I did last night, or early this morning, 3 tablespoons of raisins, which I soaked in 2 tablespoons of sherry. I do want to touch quite seriously. We use a lot of booze in our cooking, so it's all very well for them. But you can buy miniatures of most things. They'd even left enough in that bottle for me to drink, which I won't, of course. I'll keep that for later.
Love
there we
that.
are. There's your onions and your...
How tough.
And I hope the pot burns you.
Right, he's such a charming fellow.
Yes.
Now, this is the last little bit of liver. As I say, don't overcook it. It's only taken that short time while Peter gave that long speech about the onions. But it doesn't take very long at all. Just as I say, flour it a little bit and salt and pepper it if you want to before you actually start frying it in good butter. Tip that in there like that. Now, what we do with this, oops, take the last bit out. Doesn't matter all those bits are there. Just take the raisins and the sherry, pop those in. Now, we sometimes err a bit on this. What do you say? What? We err a bit on this. And then also to this now, with the sherry and the raisins, just put in 1 cup of beef stock and let that simmer. Just let that simmer down, because what I want that to do is boil down and reduce slightly to go over this liver a little bit later on.
Now, also to to finish off this dish when we put it all together, I've been toasting here, or toasting, I'm actually sauteing them in a little tiny bit of oil, some pine nuts, about 2 tablespoons of pine nuts, which are going to finish off this dish eventually. I'll put them there so you can see if I move too quickly. Oh, my dish. Excuse me. Stand there. Talk.
Oh, hello. I'm here talking to you while Peter gets his little thing out of the oven.
Dish out.
A dish. Little dish.
You can go now.
Right.
Now, by magic of television, the courtesy of David, I've got a huge bag of red-hot mashed potatoes here. And just, we do like to talk about, try and present things, although they're very simple. Even sausage can be presented beautifully. I'm just going to pipe.
Well, I
if I can get it
Who's
started.
laughing? Of course sausage. Who's that laughing? It's you. I saw you. Of course sausages can be presented nicely.
Well, they can.
You don't have to see them sitting on the thing with all of them floating in fat. Bit of old spud and some mushy peas with them, do you? You're lying in the cradle of croutons or whatever. Funny people.
Just pipe
You're
this
all right, that side, but this side's funny. What earth are you doing?
Just pipe these decoratively round the edge.
Now, while Peter's doing that,
you've got
Can you
bronchitis,
see me
dear.
through it? It's like a fog, isn't it, eh? I feel like one of those old witches. Don't you dare say anything. Now, when this is
nozzle's
reduced...
stuck.
What's the matter, your nozzle? Well, do it nicely.
I am.
Just tell him to do it now. Go round in a doofer.
I have.
Oh,
Look.
do it. Here, look, when you've done it, put the liver in, and that is quite warm. No, a bit more decoratively than that.
Oh, it's hot.
Now, what you have to do now is to put into here these onions. Oh.
Now, you said about not overcooking liver, didn't you?
Yep.
It's very important.
Put the onions...
But quite seriously, the decorative thing...
Let me tell them this bit
Oh,
first. Put the onions that have been glazed into here, which is lovely, and this makes a delicious sauce. Scrummy. Right, there you go, Pete.
Slowly.
Oh, well, hurry up then. This is... Can you smell this now? Yeah. Doesn't it smell gorgeous? You think you're going to get a bit? Quite right. This is all going up. This is a crew gets this after we finish. Are you done?
Yes.
Right. Now, lastly, just put this, being very careful, put this sauce over there. Whoops. You didn't come up with your spuds.
I wanted them like that.
I'll tart them up later. Just pour this over
You'll
there.
be lucky. I just stood on the piping bag. And it came out. But it's the careless look. They took be a little flamboyant. And then finally over the top of this go the pine nuts. So really, this is a simple dish, but honestly,
It
it's
is
the most
stunning.
beautiful
Really tastes
taste.
beautiful,
Seriously,
I can
it's
assure you of that.
beautiful. Now, we shouldn't hold that, but we are, because we've got a marvellous guest. I'm going to put this in the oven just to hold this till we dish up.
All right, there you are.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, lovely. So there we have the casserole of tripe. The liver and onions, a very simple dish, and one that really doesn't cost you an arm and a
My
leg
back's
or
not
two
feeling
or
too good
three.
this afternoon either.
So while we're having a little
We're
clear up
cooking
and get ready
kidneys.
to make our third dish of the evening, and they are a bit complex, so I hope you'll bear with us. We're going to have a lovely, light, frothy number by someone you'll love. Please give a warm welcome to Sandra Dickinson and her partner, Paul Grunitz.
Well, what about the swell times, huh? Remember the whoopee we had in Baltimore?
Sure do. In Atlantic City.
Swell times.
But that was all.
Oh, well, what more do you want?
What does any girl want?
Well, what?
I'll tell ya. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, and a bridegroom just like you.
Ooh. We'll go galloping from the church to the station on a beautiful Sunday morning in June. With our tickets, our bags, and our reservations on a choo-choo honeymoon.
Though it's crowded, we'll both climb into the upper, and we'll lay off the board as was until noon.
Then I'll give him a tip to sneak in our supper on a choo-choo honeymoon.
We'll go yickety-yickety-yakking while we undress, joking and laughing until we hit the hay.
We'll go clickety-clickety-clacking on that Love Express.
Kissing and cooing and cuddling all the way.
Oh, baby.
The conductor will take the peak through the
Just to tell us that we'll be getting in soon. Though we're sorry the trip is over, we're certain our two hearts are singing in tune. On that rickety rackety choo choo, rickety clackety woo woo, choo choo honeymoon.
Could do no better.
Oh, you beast!
You know, this is awful.
Yeah, it's a loaded spice.
Come on, Joe, move your tush.
The conductor will take a peek through the curtain, just to tell us that we'll be getting in soon. Though we're sorry the trip is over, we're certain our two hearts are singing in tune. On that rickety-rackety choo-choo, rickety-clackety woo-woo, choo-choo honeymoon. Niagara choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo funny, choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo sunny, choo-choo-choo-choo-choo honeymoon.
Woo, woo!
That was Peter and I. Didn't we do a good quick change?
Don't you wish you could be that light and bubbly? Lovely. Happy,
Right.
merry.
Right, we must get on now.
maestro.
Now, this is the final dish of all, and this is kidneys with juniper berries and gin. And again with the kidneys, don't overcook them, but there's just a simple thing in preparing them because a lot of people don't like them, and there's one of the reasons why, and Peter's going to explain that for it to you.
Well, you all are familiar with kidneys. You have one either side. At least I think I've got a couple left. I'm not quite sure. But I know this sounds silly, but a lot of people spoil kidneys. Firstly, one of the things is they overcook them. They should be just like liver. They're set and slightly pink in the centre. But when you're preparing a kidney, invariably, right, well, not invariably, always, you've got in here a bit of sinew. Make sure you cut that out, because when you're cooking, apart from that it never cooks, and of course it never gets tender, just use household scissors or your, what do you call those things that ladies make dresses with, those
shears.
pinking shears or whatever like that. Wash them later on. But cut that out so that you get that, because it tends to shrink in cooking and then drags the kidney in and spoils it.
And ends up with a little mouth like this, go...
Oh, I wish I could cut yours out
come
right
on,
now.
'cause I wanna get going
in
on.
the middle of... Well, if you shut your mouth, I'd get on. And normally you'll find when you buy kidneys, sometimes, unless you go to a very good butcher like we do in Prestbury, who has done them for me, there's a tiny membrane. So when you cut them in half, you'll find you just pull that off. You'll see it, it's opaque and white, and then you get these lovely fresh kidneys, and that's where they go nice and
Now, you're
tender.
saying don't overcook them. These will be done in a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Now, what I
good
do with
pussy
this,
cat.
because...
I was talking to the cats, all right?
Yes, I know. Any excuse to get down
Don't
and get
do that,
another
you naughty
bit of brandy.
boy.
Right, shut up, Peter. I've got to get on because you've only got long to do. This is what you do. You pour in some gin.
Do you?
Now, if you've got an extractor thing over your stove, turn it off, because if it does light up and go into it, you could burn the house down. This may not even actually light, to be honest. Oh, it did. Wood.
Saute, shovel.
Well, wait a minute. Too hot. And don't do it with a wooden spoon, otherwise that'll all burn too. Right. Now, what you're supposed to do is, when the flames have died down, I did put a bit too much in there. You're supposed to do about 2 tablespoonfuls. Just take these off like this with a slotted spoon, because Peter's going to slice these, but you might not have time, actually. Never mind, it doesn't matter, because they're not very big.
I'll make time.
All right, well, just a moment. Let me just put these in here like this. Here we go. Now, what we had... Oh, come on, dear, hurry up. It's always that last little one, isn't it?
Juniper berries and everything?
Just a moment.
Oh, no, you've
Now,
only
what we
got
actually put to
20.
that is some juniper berries.
He's
See
on
them
21
here?
now.
These are what's names. These are little blackberry things like that. And they're actually used in flavouring gin. So you just crush them a little bit because you need to break them. And that goes in with this, together with about 2 tablespoons of spring onions, finely chopped.
Can I have the kidneys?
Wait a minute.
I'll come and get them.
And 1/3 of a cup of chicken stock. and just let that boil down, and that's going to make, with a couple of other additions, the beautiful sauce that goes over the kidneys and gin. And very, very simple. You all right, Pete?
Have you any idea where Sandra's got to?
I don't know.
She said
Sandra,
she'd like
dear,
to
have you
change her
changed your
costume.
frock?
Are you here? Oh, I say.
Lovely song.
I'll just get on with my I'll pour you a glass of plate. I'll just get on
Sandra,
doing my kidneys because we're
now,
very
come over
short
here.
of time.
Just for a minute.
All right, you
all
have a
right.
quick swig while you're working.
I'll have a quick swig.
What I'm going to do now, Sandra, with this is just to put in a little bit of butter.
A little bit of butter.
Not too much, because otherwise it's fairly rich as it is. A little bit of butter. Would you mind getting out?
I'll
There's
get the,
there's some rice in there.
the rice.
And also, too, there's a dish to put these in there. They're
In
both
here.
hot, darling, so don't burn yourself, please, because otherwise you'll be in dead trouble,
He
or I
never
will.
mentioned me, Sandra, when he handed me a plate
Yep.
of red hot kidneys to cut in half, did he?
Right, now
Here,
put that over there, and
here.
woohoo, and the rice there. So just make it into a circle, like a
In the wind.
circle, ring.
A
ring. Do you need all of it?
I'm a big eater.
You can say that again.
She's a good cook, I can see that. Do you do much cooking,
I
Sandra?
love cooking.
Do you?
In fact, Paul and I did a big party this last
Did you?
weekend for 40 people.
That's
A
nice.
ring,
We had
love,
the
a
cast-
ring.
You
Don't
know what
bother
a
to.
ring
You ain't
is?
got
Not a
time to break it
telephone.
up. A
Where's the
ring.
ball?
Throw some
Hold on,
on,
where's
throw it
the
on the
ball?
floor. Here's your kidneys, quick.
A ring, dear, quickly. You haven't got long.
Okay, here's
Put
the
your
ring.
kidneys back in the
Use
sauce like
fingers.
that.
Yes, throw it on the
What's the
floor.
ring?
Have you got the other things out, Peter? What about
No.
Okay.
All right,
How
you got
about
your
that
ring.
for a ring?
Oh, lovely,
Oh, my
brilliant.
God, the BBC's going to sue me, look.
What? Well, never mind. Get your other
Look at
bits.
that ring.
Go and get the thing nice. Get your doofers ready. Just
God,
stir
I
these
can't
around,
see.
just nicely like this. And that you don't need to have them overcooked, as we said
Okay,
earlier.
I'm ready for yours.
Take that. All right, you
Yes.
ready for the
Agree?
ring?
Okay,
Got
I'll get out of the way.
Wait a minute. Where's the liver?
There, I'm getting it. There's the whatever.
I'll just
tripe.
pour this in now. Here is lovely juice to go in there, and all that rice will soak up that juice. And it really doesn't look a
there's-
lot. You
oh,
put a lot of
sorry,
rice in. I think we could have had a smaller. We could have had a
Oh,
smaller
you're
dish.
look at
Well, I told you it was economical.
Yes,
See,
as
this
long as you've got the rice.
No, that'd be lovely like it is.
So there's my
All right.
tripe provençal.
Oh dear.
Shall we
I'll
go
take
into
that.
dinner?
You take those?
Yeah, we're going
I'll
to
take
dinner.
the wine.
Right, where's your wine?
All right,
You take your
yes.
wine. No, you take your wine.
Okay,
Your
I'll
wine.
take
You're on the red.
this as well.
No, you don't
Mind
have
step,
to.
mind step.
Mind step.
Off we
Off
go.
we go.
We go.
Quickly,
Sit in the
Peter.
middle, darling. What do you think I'm doing? I'm running.
How do I get it up with me hand?
We're here.
Catch it, catch it. Just a quick recap on that, Peter, because you haven't got long, unfortunately.
Tripe provençal, lovely tripe with squid for change.
The onions and also the liver with the pine nuts and just the kidneys with a little less rice
Yes,
if you're
my
at home
darling.
doing that.
What is the wine you recommend?
You're
with
drinking
this?
a white, we're
We're
drinking a red.
red
Any can go with
Coronas.
this nice.
Fine.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much,
Big
my
hug.
love.
Thank you for the
coming.
song. God bless
lovely
you all
song.
here.
To all our
Thank
lovely
you,
audience here. And to you at home, God bless you. We'll see you
see you
soon.
soon.
Thank you, my love. Oh, by the way, if you would like any of the recipes from the series, please send a stamped addressed envelope to room 5042, BBC Northwest, Oxford Road, Manchester, code M601SJ. Now, what would you like to try? I can I do it now?